live with Romance Happy Hour. I'm here with Dylann. Let's see if I can get this right. I got it right, Dylann.
You did, yeah. Everything's backwards.
Dylann, obviously. And Danika Bloom and Mel Walker. Hello, welcome.
Ooh, welcome.
Hi, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, we're pretty excited. We've only had 2 other men on this show.
Ooh.
So that's, like you're our third.
And they were here together. And so Mel is only our second show featuring a male author.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel honored.
All right, so let's get into this. Dylann, what are you working on?
You might notice a different background. I am actually in Galena, Illinois tonight at an Airbnb because I'm doing a book signing. It's Romantic Galena Reads, and it will be going on Saturday. I know I keep getting my days mixed up because I keep thinking the signing is tomorrow, but it's not. So if you're anywhere near the Galena, Illinois area, I hope you'll come out and find me. And I am sharing an Airbnb. I don't know if my roommates will come in and say hi, but I'm sharing with Casey Enders and C.A. McConey and Nancy Nagel, who isn't here yet. So she will not be saying hi because she is not here yet, but fun. But yeah.
So my question is, so you said the book signing's on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to go like sightseeing tomorrow, or what are you doing tomorrow?
So Casey Enders and I, funny story. I mean, we know each other because we're both Midwestern authors, and we both have written books that take place around a whiskey distillery. And so we're gonna go do a whiskey tasting tomorrow. Go
fun.
Nice.
Fun.
Yes, and we may or may not have already been to the brewery in town. I can't say. So.
Right. Why can't you say this is Romance Happy Hour? I've definitely got mine.
All right. So we had dinner at the brewery and just barely made it back in time to be on the show. And I had the most amazing, I don't even know what it was. It was like a 5-layer something or other. It was like a stout that was finished in a rye whiskey barrel for 5 months. And it had like, Mexican chocolate, and I don't know. When they talk about all the layers, like I just know what I like, and I liked it. So yeah, so it's good.
Nice. I feel like that with the cigars. My husband smokes cigars. My favorite is this like Java mint one because it's got layers.
Interesting.
And also girl flavors like Java and mint. So
that would be interesting in a cigar, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's amazing.
The beer was good.
Yeah.
So Dawn, what are you up to?
Oh, my agent wants me to edit a book that I've had out on sub for like a year. And so I'm going to revise again or edit and revise again. But I got a new agent. So, I'm working with her. I'm going with the flow. I pulled my hardcore romance series because she wants to do some magic with those. So, yeah, we've got some stuff going on there. And then I'm just writing some cowboy books and being a real estate agent and a mom of 4. But the biggest news ever is as of yesterday, I officially have a Marine.
Woohoo! He made it, huh?
He's not graduated yet, but he made it past the Crucible. And the Crucible is where they have to make it through before they become Marines. So next week, I will actually be traveling to San Diego to go to my son's Marine Corps boot camp graduation. So
that sounds really rough.
Yeah. We are definitely staying an extra day or 2. And like we missed the beach. So hubby and I are going to be going and getting some sunburns because we're definitely white. So makes sense since the last time we were at the beach.
Well, very cool. And tonight we have 2 amazing authors with us.
Oh, yes.
Danika Bloom, you want to introduce yourself? And your backdrop looks so picture perfect. I mean,
right. I know. So staged. I did a course in staging. I am Danika Bloom, USA Today bestselling author as of last December. And I write steamy rom-com romance with a rom-com feel to it. based up in tiny town, British Columbia. So kind of keep my stories based in the Vancouver and a little imaginary village, which is really my village.
Okay.
That's what
So
I do.
then that leads me to say, if you don't want to say, you don't have to, but do you live in Canada?
Yes.
Okay.
What?
We have a Canadian viewer, Linda. She's here.
Well,
Oh,
we
yeah.
might have more than one Canadian viewer. We just know for a fact that Linda is
Yeah.
a Canadian viewer.
We
Although
love
east side of Canada.
So
Yeah.
Linda probably knows. Linda, if you've ever been to Whistler, you have driven by my house. Oh, and Gabby Gray, I know she has actually been to my house.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay, awesome. Yeah, we love I did not I guess I did I should have asked this. I always ask this before because I like to see who's been where I've been. But yeah, I'm glad you're from Canada. That's awesome. I love featuring Canadian authors.
Well, it's funny, I was listening to or watching an interview with Mel earlier, and I don't remember who you were talking to, but you're talking about the whole Mets baseball thing, you being a Mets fan, and it just made me think. I grew up in Quebec, and my dad is a Montrealer, and my mom is from Boston, and so it was always the Bruins and the Montreal Canadiens, like the clash of the. Yeah, so I was just thinking you had that in your family too, but with the Mets and the
Yankees. Yeah.
Yankees, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So with that, Mel, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're working on, what you're giving away, whatever you want to tell us.
Oh, sure. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I'm excited for being here. So I am Mel Walker. I am a contemporary romance writer. The way I describe it is I'm just north of sweet. So I'm on the low heat index in terms of where I write. Even though I'm born and raised in New York, I actually write small town romance. I really love small towns and the community and the love and the shared environments there. So that's really my sweet spot. So really enjoy that. And Dylan, you mentioned C.A. McConey. So I met her in Dallas this year. So please tell her I said hi.
I will. When I told her, I'm like, I have to get back for Romance Happy Hour. And I said, yeah, we're having Mel Walker and Danika Bloom. And she's like, I love Mel.
Awesome.
So she may pop in. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, great. Yeah, she's amazing. We had a blast in Dallas, so it was a lot of fun. So just looking forward to the discussion tonight. I'm always working on multiple things, so I can talk later in terms of what's going on. I just completed 3 releases in the last 40 days. So I'm trying to catch my breath right now. So.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Take a deep breath for us. Go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And we do have a Australian, Deanna. She's our resident Australian. She likes to join us. So she says hello.
Let's go Mets. Megan, thank you.
Yeah, that's pretty divisive. I mean, you're one or the other, just like Chicago, right? You're either the Cubs or the White Sox.
White Sox, yeah. Yep.
I mean, like, families have been broken up.
Oh, yes.
Over those rivalries. So, which my husband is a Cubs fan, so I know this, but it's pretty intense.
Oh, yeah.
So let me ask this, because I did live in Boston for a spell. But what is more of a rival to you guys, the Red Sox or like your Yankees and Mets? Like, which one is more intense? Because I know people have died because the Red Sox won.
Yeah. So from a New York perspective, it's 2 points of view. So if you're a Met fan, the rivalry is more with the Yankees, just because we don't have the history so much with the Red Sox, even though we beat them in the World Series. If you're a Yankee fan,
put that in there.
Yeah, I had to put that in there. But if you're a Yankee fan, the rivalry is with the Red Sox because you guys are in the same division and you're always battling all year.
Yeah. I was there when they reversed the curse, and it was not a happy scene. Yes. Riots and people dying. I was like, your team won, people. Why are you killing each other?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, it's pretty serious. The Boston fans are pretty hardcore too. So.
All right. Well, we are here for Romance Happy Hour, and Danika has so sweetly volunteered to go first. She's going to be our first reader tonight. Danica, do you have anything you want to set it up, or
I will set it up. So this is an unpublished book. Pardon me. It's the first in a new series, Power Brothers, so 4 brothers, billionaires. And how come we're cycling through people? I feel weird. Okay.
I was
All
clicking
good.
the picture instead of the mute button. Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. So this is the first book in a brand new series of 4 billionaire brothers. Their last name is Power. And I'm going to do a reading starting from chapter 7. So the Virginia and Will have had their first meet cute on stage. He's like a Tony Robbins character. He's a bombastic, like, motivational speaker, and he pulled her up on stage to do some live coaching. That was their original meet cute, and now she managed to get herself into the program that she shouldn't be in. So this is where we pick it up. Chapter 7, Willpower. So it's first person, so my male voice and my female voice are going to sound rather similar. Okay. The power broker call is humming along. Scheduled to last 90 minutes, we're right where we're supposed to be, with 4 participants remaining. The next name on the list is out of my mouth before my brain registers what I'm saying. I pull my eyes away from the camera to look directly at the face highlighted on my screen. Red hair pulled back in a tight ponytail. Holy crap. I stumble, repeating her name, trying to regain my composure. Virginia Beach. As I live and breathe, Mr. Power. Her smile is wide and confident. This makes no sense, but I can't figure it out now, nor can I pull my eyes away to look at my cheat sheet. Not that I need to be reminded of her business. Plant whisperer, I say. Yes, sir. Now one of many areas my business will be focused on in the coming year as I scale up. My thoughts spin. Why is she here? I drop my eyes to read the business target her coach prepared for her. You have an ambitious goal of reducing greenhouse gas emissions from your business by 30% in the coming year. Virginia's expression changes to one of confusion as she looks away from her camera. A voice off screen says, roll with it. She looks back and smiles. Yes, quite ambitious, but with Mr. Liu's guidance, I'm confident I'll reach it. Crap. I've read the next participant's target, and Virginia handled my error like a pro. I decide to wing it. Ms. Beach, I'm having trouble keeping a plant in my office healthy. It's called angel wings. Any idea what I might be doing wrong? She's smiling as if we'd never met. Well, without actually seeing the plant, sir, I can't say for sure, but if I was to wager a guess, based on what I know about you from your Power Hour podcast and the seminar I attended, I'd say you're not leaving enough oxygen in the room for it to breathe. I hear Lou gasp off screen, but before I can think of a response, Virginia laughs into her hand and then continues, just kidding. I'd really have to get to know the plant before I judge what's wrong with it. My jaw clenches. Then consider this an open invitation to scrutinize my shrubberies, Ms. Beach. I look down at my spreadsheet. Up next, we have Robert Ma. I click the leave meeting button as I'm saying the next entrepreneur's name, then charge out of my office and bark at my executive assistant. Contact Robert's mentor, tell him I'm having internet issues, reschedule the last 3 participants, and have a copy of Virginia Beach's business overview on my desk when I get back. I don't wait for her reply. I storm to the elevators and get into the wrong one. Force of habit. I rarely visit staff floors. When the doors reopen 3 seconds later, Savannah is looking at me with a freaking smirk, pointing to the right. Lose floor, I demand. 26. As the doors close, I hear her yell, "You're welcome!" How the heck did Virginia Rainforest Beach get into our program? Is this some kind of hush scholarship for the way I treated her on stage? This makes no sense at all. When the elevator doors open, I don't slow to acknowledge Lou's assistant on my way to his office. I rap twice, then push open the door, only to slam smack into a small wall dressed in a blue suit dress topped with fiery red hair. My arm shoots out and I catch her before she tumbles backward, but the momentum pulls her tight against me into a stiff one-armed hug. I release her almost immediately, but not before my body registers the transfer of an energy that goes straight to my core and whispers, relax. I take a calming breath as I look down at Virginia Beach. She's holding her ground, staring right back at me with an authentic and confident smile. How is the most complete sentence I can pull together. Chapter 8, Virginia Beach. I knew that participating in the call would be a gamble, but I also figured Willpower would likely have no memory of our brief encounter and how he'd humiliated me on stage. And really, there was no credible way for me to avoid the group meet and greet without telling Mr. Liu the full truth, which I didn't want to do since I've learned so much from him in the 3 meetings we've had. I stand my ground, arms akimbo, projecting the energy that I belong here as Mr. Power stares down at me. I look up at him, not quite defiant, but in the same stare family. I've practiced the look for hours with Georgia, the one that says, "That's right, I'm here and there's nothing you can do about it." How? He asks. I wait for him to complete the question, but silence hangs between us. Does he mean, "How do you do?" Seems a little formal given how frantic he was when he burst into the office. Or maybe, "How are you doing? It's so nice to see you again." That makes me smile, not bloody likely. "How are you enjoying the program? Is Lou mentoring you well?" I like that one, and I'm about to answer, but Mr. Liu comes around from behind his desk, hand outstretched to shake Mr. Powers. "Welcome home, Will. Exceptional talent in the program this year. Well chosen." Mr. Liu moves his hand to my shoulder, patting in a fatherly way. "And this young filly, your talent identifying dark horses never ceases to amaze me." Mr. Liu extends his arms toward Mr. Power, palms up and open, in a silent invitation for him to speak. Mr. Power glances between Mr. Liu and me 3 times. I hold my smile. Mr. Liu drops his hands. Then finally, Mr. Power snaps to life, grabs my elbow, and pulls me beside him. "Thank you, Liu. I'd like a private word with the talented and surprising Miss Beach." This is it, my inevitable, undignified escort from the building. In my mind, I'd pictured a security guard being called on to humiliate me. Never did I imagine I'd have to endure a repeat performance of that day on stage. Will he stand me in the middle of the lobby and make me a public example? "Thank you for everything, Mr. Liu," I call over my shoulder before the door closes behind me. I stumble to keep up with Mr. Power's long strides, his hand still firm around my arm. "Bye, Amanda. Nice meeting you. Thanks for being you," I call in the direction of her desk. "Stop yelling," Mr. Power growls. "I can see myself out, thank you very much." I twist my elbow free and wave my building access pass so he can see it. He grunts, "That won't get you where I'm taking you." I stop dead in my tracks. "I didn't do anything illegal," I say, not much louder than a whisper, not wanting Amanda to overhear. "You can't arrest me, I hope. I mean, you did give me a golden ticket, even if you didn't intend to. And what kind of entrepreneur would I be if I didn't seize every opportunity? Those are your words. I simply followed your coaching. Can't arrest me for that." Boom. "Stop talking. Get in the elevator. I'm taking you to my office. Your guest pass doesn't give you access to my floor." He closes his eyes and sighs. When he opens them again, he tries to smile, but it looks pained. "I'm not having you arrested. I just want to talk." I inhale my relief and register a fresh floral scent. I tilt my chin up and sniff the air near his neck. "What are you doing?" he asks, stepping away from me. "I'm trying to figure out what that cologne is that you're wearing. I assume you put it on with the intention of people smelling it? Are you always so direct? It's off-putting. Dial it back when you're with me." I clear my throat loudly, deepen my voice. "If what you're doing makes people uncomfortable, keep doing it. It means they're paying attention. That's the first step of success, getting people's attention." Mr. Power spins on his heel. "Is that supposed to be my voice? Are you quoting me to me as a challenge?" I smile because the look on his face makes me want to laugh out loud, but that might be a bit rude, even for me. He shakes his head, but I notice his lip tip up just a little. "The tragedy of Lord George. I believe that's the cologne I put on this morning." "I like it," I say, stating the obvious. The elevator doors slide open and Mr. Power motions for me to leave behind him. We step into a brightly lit foyer, twice the size of the one of Mr. Liu's floor. As we pass an oversized desk, scaled to fit the size of the space, a woman about my age half stands and pushes a file folder toward Mr. Power, who grunts when he takes it. "Come." He pushes open a massive wooden door, waves me into an office that's twice as big as my entire apartment with Georgia. Mr. Power moves toward a polished maple wood counter that appears to be a wet bar. With his back to me, I gawk at the furniture, the fixtures, the finishing of everything in this room. I wait 20 seconds for him to tell me to sit, to make myself comfortable, but he's totally ignoring me. Mr. Power, he turns. May I? I point to the wall of windows where at least 24 plants form a small forest of life in this otherwise sterile space. Be my guest. He holds up a tiny white cup. You strike me as a woman who prefers a bitter espresso over a sweetened latte. And that's where I will stop. Thank you.
That sounds awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay, we should be unmuted. Everybody
Yes.
unmuted?
Yep.
I can hear you.
Very fun. Oh my gosh, I was laughing. I don't know if you saw me down there, but I was laughing.
I did not see anything other than like white light.
Well, and I think what I most enjoyed was Danika's expressions and the way you like literally rapped on the desk and you acted it out. That was awesome.
Yes. Distract them with, what is it, that expression? It's like if you can't wow them with brilliance, distract them with humor or something. I don't know what it is. Anyway.
Oh, you did so good though. I mean, this book sounds amazing.
Yeah, I don't think you had to distract us. I think the words were speaking for themselves. No, that was very enjoyable.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I can picture them. So it sounds a little bit like a Grumpy Sunshine.
Yes, he's got debilitating insomnia is his big problem. And so yeah. Oh, here, and this is a big surprise for you folks here, because I got this literally an hour ago from my color designer. I don't know. So you're the first people to see it. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it very clearly, but there we go.
Oh, wow.
Fun.
So that's
Very nice.
it's fun.
Very fun.
Are you gonna drop it in the comments?
Oh, I can't put it in these comments, can I?
Not from here, but you can go.
I'll put it in Facebook.
Yeah, if you open up a window, you can post in Facebook. So
I will do that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, and we did have a couple questions. We can always count on our friend Linda to bring some up. So I'm going to pop one up here, and we'll have both of you answer before we get to Mel. Linda wants to know, what do you think makes a good story? And Danika, since you just finished reading, why don't you answer first, if that's okay?
First thought in my mind was engaging characters who make you want to hang out with them. That's what I try to do, and that's because that's what I think makes a good story. Because I can't write setting very well.
I don't think say that at all. I can see the office with the house plants, and I loved how you said not sterile, but how did you say it? Sterile, or with that?
Did I say it Canadian or something?
Canadian accent. Yes. So, no, I thought you painted a very good picture.
Oh, thank you.
That's awesome. Did I say Canadian? I love that.
What do you think, Mel? What do you think makes a good story?
I was going to say something very similar. I would think two interesting characters. I would add a wrinkle in there in terms of making sure that they're in a difficult situation. I think conflict always drives a story as well. But just two interesting personalities and how you get two different perspectives attacking the same problem.
So then that kind of forms a question in my mind, like, how do you come up with your characters then? Do you have like an algorithm you go by, or do you have like a character development, or do you have like a go-to kind of character or personality for your...
Yeah, I play with it. Each story, I try to get different characters in terms of the personalities. I do take a look at, there's a personality study Enneagram. And so I look at that to see what different types of characters and how the different personalities would also interact with one another as well, because that's always a good place for additional conflict in terms of how they react as well. So you have the extroverts, you have the introverts, you have the fixers, you have the personalities that are quiet, and just play off of all of those different combinations.
Yeah, I'm very similar, but I'll spend 2 weeks, and if I don't spend at least 2 weeks, I will mess it up. In the wound thesaurus and the olive the thesaurus eye. Yeah. And I do that. I take the pages and I'm like, okay, this person reacts badly to that characteristic, and that's kind of how I figure out what their wounds are going to be and what their positive and negative traits are going to be in terms of personality. So.
Yeah. I have a catalog of books. I guess is my go-to in my Kindle. I guess the only ones I actually look at are my thesaurus books, and then I have the hero and heroine archetype books that I look at when I'm doing my character development. But yeah, me too. Yeah, for sure. You said wounds, though? I didn't see that one.
The wound, isn't it called the wound thesaurus?
The red one.
Okay.
I'm looking on my desk to try to see it.
The new one, because I only have like.
It's not new. It's the emotional wound thesaurus. It's the red one, and it's about
not like the gunshot wound. I
was like, okay, yeah. Emotional wounds, yeah. It has that one.
So, and for those of you that might be aspiring authors or readers who are watching, what we're talking about is a series of books by Angela Ackerman and Becca Puglisi. Is it Puglisi, I think? Who have written a series of books, and they have like the emotional wound thesaurus, and they have, I even got like the rural setting thesaurus. I have several of them now. I think I have almost all of them except the new one, but it's just a great resource for authors because they kind of give you a little bit of a shortcut if you're someone who maybe lives in a big city and has never lived in a small town. It gives you like different things that might be in a small town, or if you're vice versa, they do have one that's an urban setting. So, it gives you just ideas and smells and all kinds of things that you can think of that, would just maybe give you a little bit of a leg up on trying to work on your characters and settings and things like that.
Yeah. Even love, they have like it's not love, but it's something else. I can't remember right now, but yeah.
Well, there's like what was the blue one called? It's just the emotional thesaurus, right? Where they just like give different different descriptions and things, and they tell you different ways that you can say stuff. Like if you're nervous, like what might happen. So you might have sweaty palms, or you might have a dry throat, or you might, I don't know, mess out.
Yeah. My go-to. It's one of my go-tos for sure. But now my Kindle's saying, "Oh, you don't have me right now. You gotta re-sign in."
All right, let me see. Linda had another question. Should we do one more and then we can have Mel read? Linda says, "Do you believe in the concept of a muse?"
I would say yes.
Laughing. So let's let Mel go first on that one. Ooh, yes. Who's your muse, Mel? Are we going to get some insider info here?
Yeah. Your muse or your?
Well, yeah, my wife is my muse. I do write with her in mind. Almost every story. She's a big reader, but it's interesting. She doesn't read fiction. She reads nonfiction. But I always keep her in mind in terms of when I'm writing. And I always think back to Al Meet Cute and Al History in terms of putting some of those emotions and facts into the stories.
Oh, I love that. What is the number one story that you've written that has the most of your wife in it?
Ooh, that's a great question. There was a story, it's actually unpublished now, called White Collar Blues. And the actual character had the same name as my wife. And there's a lot of her in that story.
Nice. Awesome. Well, when you republish it, let us know on Romance Happy Hour so we can tell everybody, hey, this is his wife, go read it.
Okay. Awesome. Will do.
What about you?
I think I believe in a muse, but it's certainly not my husband. And it's so funny because in my first,
I'm watching, is he? Oh my gosh!
He's right there. He's right there.
I named a character. I changed one letter, so I need it. So when I'm writing, I do almost all my first drafts with the names of real people I know. So because I can accept the main characters, but all the secondary characters. And so there was this grumpy bureaucrat, and I was drawing from my grumpy 28 years working for the federal government husband for that character, and firefighter, and lots of stuff. So I named him the same name, and then in the very end I just changed the last name from, you know, a B to a D, so from a Becker to a Decker. But aside from that, yeah, and I think my muse is conversations. My brother, in fact, is probably, if there's a real world muse, as opposed to just, you know, the universe dropping some ideas to me when I'm sleeping, my brother is the best for that. He's just so irreverent, and he takes things in the craziest directions. So gotta love that.
I love that you said that, because I was actually thinking this when I saw that earlier, that question, is that I think that a muse is more of like a state of mind, like something that you can bring you out of your state of mind and into where you need to be. Like
Really deep, Dawn.
I know, thank you.
I think you're getting really deep on Romance Happy Hour tonight. Wow.
Thank you so much. But honestly, I was thinking about this because like with our, and I'm gonna bring it up, the beaver thing. Like,
oh my God.
Yeah, it always works for me. It does. So it has to be like my muse. It's our Romance Happy Hour beaver. But I mean, it works. And
it's a standing joke. Now you gotta say like why you're talking about beavers on, because, you know, I mean, people are just now joining us. They're gonna wonder, what in the world are you talking about?
I know. So we have this ongoing joke at Romance Happy Hour that I was writing a logging book at one point, and I said, Dylann, I have writer's block. What the heck do I do? And she says, when in doubt, insert a beaver, and no matter what, it works for romance. And even if you're not writing a logging book. So, and then Dylann has this cabin in the woods, and she goes up there and she has this nuisance beaver at her cabin that literally just like makes her life hell up there. And so we just have this ongoing beaver joke. But every time I've had a writer's block, I've inserted beaver. Even if there's no water anywhere near, I'll be like, oh, well, they were at like a museum and there was a beaver on the wall. And then it gets me past my writer's block.
You know what, Dawn? If you want to tell everyone that I have a magic beaver, you feel free. Dylann and her magical beaver.
Oh my God, Dylann. PG-13.
But it's true, because it's always worked. And Linda is saying, I saw Linda in the comments saying, I wondered when the beaver was going to come. We haven't talked about the beaver for a long time. And Linda actually sent me a beaver, and I affectionately call it Lindy. And Lindy has traveled with me. Lindy went to NINC last year, and Lindy had her picture taken with Lucy Score and several other people. So I should bring Lindy to NINC again this year, because I'm going.
I don't know why you didn't bring her with you now to this book signing.
You know what? Lindy is at home safe. My dog, I didn't realize it, but my dog really, really evidently has an affinity for beavers as well, because my dog likes to attack Lindy. So I have to keep Lindy up on a high shelf. So
is that your Great Dane?
Yes. Yes. So
he went from couches to beavers.
Yes. Gabby says they have beavers on nickels. Is that a Canadian thing in Canada?
It is indeed.
Okay.
So Linda is in Canada, and Linda sent me a beaver, and So and we have nuisance beavers on our lake in northern Minnesota. And I thought it was so funny because they were going to hire a professional beaver trapper. And one of these days that is making it into one of my books, just so you know. So the beaver is a long-standing Romance Happy Hour insider info joke. And now all y'all. So on that note, do we have Mel Reed, Dawn?
I was just gonna say, but it's also my muse. I mean, it gets me past writer's block. Also, Linda would like to note that we're not crazy on Romance Happy Hour, at least not too much. One of our regulars. So
just Dawn.
I try. It keeps it interesting.
That's right.
All right, Mel, are you ready to read us your excerpt?
Sure. Thank you. So I'm going to be reading from my latest release, Summer Sounds. So it's a story set in a small town in Oregon, Seaside, a resort. So the story takes place, just to give you some background of it, it's a week-long music festival at the Seaside Resort and Festival. And it features Haley Williams. She's the heroine of the story. She has a family band, her and her two younger brothers, and they've been invited to the music festival to perform. It is Haley's attempt to save the family's band. They've been struggling, and they've had all sorts of dysfunction within the family as well. They go to the first day performance, and it's a disaster as the younger brother has acted out. He's a skirt chaser, and he's late for the performance. So Haley actually has to improvise. What she doesn't know in the audience is a music producer who watches her on stage in terms of how she handles it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up in chapter 3, which is essentially their meet cute. So Haley at this point has finished the production. She's now hiding from her brothers after the disastrous performance. So this is from the POV of Haley, first person. I hide under the boardwalk. I hide from the sun. I hide from my brothers, but most of all, I hide from yet another misstep I made when it comes to trying to keep my family together. I push up from my blanket on the sand underneath the boardwalk. The hot, blazing sun that forced me here hangs low on the horizon. A beautiful sunset I never get to experience back in Indiana. One that deserves to be shared with someone special. One I had dreamed of sharing with my brothers. Ice cream dripping down our hands on the boardwalk. Goofy jokes shared. And a carefree evening that should be what summer nights are all about. Rather than getting to appreciate this moment, my head fast forwards and swirls with the impending disaster of our next performance in 2 days. Our last chance to impress anyone. The appeal of the festival, outside of the beaches and sunshine, is the chance to cross paths with music industry types looking for artists. Very few music producers or record label execs ever touch down in Indiana, and even if they do, they never make it to our small town. The only saving grace thus far is that our bomb of a performance occurred on the first day. The crowd was small, and most of the industry types are still just now arriving. After showering and changing back at our hotel, I scanned social media. Not one post about our workshop, not one email, not one DM from anyone interested in us. It's like we don't exist. That is a blessing and a curse. Every year, over a dozen bands make connections and land record deals right here at this festival. We are just one of nearly 100 artists here this week looking for the same thing. Blue Collar is our family band. I'm sure I have blinders on and believe in it much more than the world has told us I should up to now, but I have to. We have decent success in Indiana, good enough to pay for drinks, meals, gas money, and new equipment now and then. We're scraping by. None of us are in a position to make this our full-time gig. This trip is not only supposed to heal what is troubling our family, but I'm hoping to get to a reality check on where we are musically. I know we're good, more than capable as musicians, but are we special enough to get a deal? This fall, I turned 26. The boys have been back from college for almost 2 years, yet the three of us back together in our childhood home, and we have to figure out what comes next. Laredo returned from college with an armful of tattoos and an entitled attitude. He demanded to sing lead, and I stepped aside to keep the peace, hoping to hold the band together. Things have only gotten worse since then. He's always been a handful, but over the last 6 months, he's become purposefully cruel and mean toward Adam. It hurts like hell to watch them not only grow apart, but bicker constantly. I scoop up my acoustic guitar sitting next to me in a blanket, the sounds of the seagulls squawking at the sunset triggering a reaction. My fingers strum a chord to block out the noise in my head. I'm like an addict looking forward to my next hit. Music is my addiction. My fingers return to the chord I toyed with on stage today. Something about the combination of keys appealing. I pause and swipe at my phone, opening my songbook application. Guilt floods me as I tap the song I'm writing, On My Own. It's a solo piece. I've been working on it for 6 months, written between all of the arguments that my brothers have, while waiting for Laredo when he arrives late for rehearsals, back in the hotel room after gigs when the three of us scatter in 3 different directions. It's a song I feel guilty for falling in love with because it's the opposite of everything I do during daylight hours. It's my sanity song. The song I've promised I would sing only after knowing my brothers can stand on their own 2 feet. When we are no longer have the challenge of making the monthly mortgage on our childhood home. When I can finally get back to my own life. The life I abandoned back on that fateful day. The day that changed everything for the family. With a straightened back and relaxed shoulders, I let the squawk of the seagulls serenade me before strumming the melody from earlier. The song is still missing the right soundtrack. Nothing I'm able to create is worthy enough to evoke the emotions I want these lyrics to carry. I'll probably be tinkering with this song for the next 30 years. We are one, always will be. Nothing will ever separate you from me. My voice cracks as I fight to clear my head. This song isn't just about me. It's about my family, the three of us. I modified a chord in search of a beat, falling back to the melody from earlier to allow my mind to find the space to create. Now it's my time. Now it's time to shift the spotlight from we to me. I bop my head and move my fingers along the strings, seeking the right sound. I close my eyes and repeat the primary chord melody. My fingers pause, yet I continue to hear the melody, and it's not in my head. That can't be right. I'm not dreaming. I hear a drumming on the railing above me on the boardwalk, a hand banging out my melody against the wooden rail. My melody. Someone is mimicking my beat above me. How is that possible? I've finally gone to crazy town. I must be hearing things. Heart racing, I adjust the guitar and shift my melody. I need to know if what I'm hearing is a real or an audible hallucination, a magical brigadoon musical echo ricocheting back at me from the ocean. I repeat the new melody 3 times before pausing, and I wait, holding my breath. My ears perk up as I hear the sound, lighter this time, the new beat echoing from above. It sounds louder and louder with each cycle. Whoever is doing it is growing with more confidence. Then I hear the voice. Ba-da-ba, da-da-da. It's a male tenor voice. His smooth interpretation tells me that he's not only musically inclined, but knows how to sing. I attempt to peek up between the cracks in the boardwalk, but can't make out anything other than a dark patch of a body. I shift forward and move on to the chorus. It's a challenging section of a song. I hadn't figured out the melody yet. I slowly strum out the incomplete mess I currently have. His soft reply is gentler and matches what I played. Hearing it played back, I finally understand this melody will never work with the section of the song I cease playing. I just sang the chorus. So it's my turn to step out on my own, by myself, but not alone. It's the reason I know I can stand on my own, on my own. I repeat the chorus twice more, then close my eyes. Fingers crossed, I hold my breath and wait. The only sounds I hear are seagulls and the shuffling of feet on the boardwalk above me. Did he leave? Did he even exist? I peer up and my heart races when the blob of darkness moves a few feet to the right. He's leaving. He's given up on me, just like I do. The familiar feeling of disappointment begins to take root, but evaporates the second I hear the bang. A complicated beat shakes the railing above. I close my eyes and rock side to side, attempting to connect the melody to the chorus. It's rough, but it fits rhythmically. Then he speaks. Sorry, it's the best I can come up with on such short notice. His voice is rich and smooth like a late night radio DJ my mom would play late on Saturday night when she took her hour-long bath. I can do better. Would you like me to continue? A wave of giddiness sweeps through me. I'd like that. Do you want me to start over? He shuffles his feet above me as if mulling over the question. I wonder why. I'm rather enjoying this, quite a bit, but in all honesty, I hold my breath and wait for his response. What I really like is for you to come up and join me. It's my turn to hesitate. It's like living a fairy tale, and I don't want to break the spell. It's only been a few minutes, but I already feel a joy I hadn't felt in years making music. No family drama, no attitude. I have no idea who it is that stands above me. Who might it be that I'm sharing this magical musical moment with? Can I ask a question? I float up the query, wanting to hide away from the noise and activity of the boardwalk just a little longer. Fire away. What is your name? I'm Marshall Grant from Boston. Are you here from the music festival? That would be a yes. I snicker at his proper phrasing of the response. So, Mr. Marshall Grant from Boston, are you a serial killer or anything like that? Well, I wouldn't be a good one if I answered that question with a yes. I'll go with no and hope you can hear the sincerity in my voice. I feel the heat on my cheek and know I must be blushing like a schoolgirl. His smooth tenor brings to mind another word that starts with the letter S, sexy. I squeeze the neck of the guitar and take a deep breath, attempting to work up the courage I know I will need. So, are you joining me? Marshall asked, and I bite my lower lip and spit out my response before I change my mind. Why don't you come down here? It's quieter than the busy boardwalk and it has better acoustics. I fall back onto the blanket and press my hands to my mouth to stop the scream from escaping. It's a bold statement from a woman used to holding back. I really ask for anything I want. I stare up through the cracks, expecting him to leap over the railing and make a superhero plunge, landing on one knee, fist punched to the ground, head tilted up at me, whispering, "At your service, princess." Instead, I am met with a lack of movement, my words not forcing him into action, but rather inaction. I guess that is my superpower. Are you sure? His words drip with earnestness and concern, a combination possessed by a good man. My instinct to invite him is rewarded. The sun is setting, but the beach is still very heavily populated. Between the amusement park next to the music festival, the beach, and the dozen other activities taking place at the festival, I fully expect a steady stream of people to be within screaming distance. This spot under the boardwalk is cozy, comfortable, and gives me the illusion of being alone, but it's just that, an illusion. I'm not asking a stranger to walk down a dark, abandoned alleyway in the middle of the night with me. I'm in Oregon, where they measure crime by the number of plants eaten by deer. I am safe. That would be a yes. I mimic his earlier response, hoping the staccato reply is recognized for the musical mastery it is. His chuckle floats across the warm ocean breeze and finds its way to my heart. I see you got jokes, talented and funny, on my way. Hold up, I shout just as he begins to move. His sneaker squeaks on the cracked wood. Change of heart? The way he says heart causes mine to race. It's the opposite. I can't wait to see what he looks like. No, I answer quickly. The thought never had crossed my mind. Don't you want to know my name? I ask. I already know it. Haley. Haley Williams from Indiana. Wait, what? He doesn't give me a second to sit with my question, probably sensing where my mind may race. You played those same chords during your set earlier. Best sounds I've heard all day. Best sounds I've heard all summer. A smile pulls on my face like an unexpected reward. A man who compliments my smiles, my look, the style of dress I wear will have a million hoops to jump through for me to hear them. But one who recognizes my musical talents, something I've worked on all my life, something that means the world to me, receives an express pass to a special seat in the blanket next to me. Well then, Marshall Grant from Boston, hurry on down here. You've not heard anything yet. I'll pause right there.
Can I say I enjoy the references to the classics like Brigadoon, Princess? Like I love that so much.
Awesome.
That's hardly at all. I love it.
I actually wrote that down because I knew I would forget, but the Magical Brigadoon, I wrote that down. I was like, that's so
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much.
I'm not sure what I enjoyed more. Either, I mean, the words were fabulous, but watching Mel read was also a treat in and of itself. He was smiling, and I loved it. Like when you enjoy reading something that you wrote, I mean, that's the best.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
That was so much fun.
I'm amazed at how well you captured a young woman's, like, I was listening going, yeah, that was totally be me at 5 years ago or more.
Yeah, just a blink ago, right?
Yeah, just a blink. Yeah, it was fun. So much fun.
Very enjoyable. Thanks for sharing.
Oh, thank you. That's probably my most favorite meet cute that I've written. So.
It's definitely a meet cute.
Yeah.
That was adorable. Linda is on fire tonight. Linda is the only one who's posting questions, but we do have a couple more. So if anybody else has questions, feel free to post them in the comments. Otherwise, it's like the Linda show tonight. Linda wants to know, have any of your books been made into audio for either one of you?
No, not of yet. I've explored it and looking into it, but not as of yet.
It's a goal.
Yes.
So, just out of curiosity, because I have been listening to a lot of author podcasts lately, Google Play has AI that you can upload your book and they will create audio for you. Is that something that either one of you would ever consider trying?
I would have to see where the technology is.
I mean, it has to be wide, so your book can't be in Kindle Unlimited. It would have to be available on all retailers because they won't let you, use their platform if you're not selling it on Google. But I listened to an interview with the guy that's in charge of their audio market, and you have different narrators you can choose from. And I mean, I think that's been like a point of controversy, it seems like, with some of the because I mean, we all have our favorite narrators and fully support. I mean, it takes major talent to bring an audiobook to
Well, Kiss Audio is also doing AI, aren't they? Kiss Audio is doing AI as well.
Oh, I didn't know about that. But yeah, I mean, so it definitely, you're sacrificing a little bit, I think, on just the way that, because I feel like when the narrators read a book, I mean, it's like they perform it.
Yeah.
And so, you're definitely sacrificing that if you're using, a AI generated. But yeah, I'm just curious because now it's making me wonder, I mean, it's free versus, several $100s per produced hour. So it's just something that I'm wondering how authors are feeling about it. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see where the technology goes because, as you said, the narrators are so talented now. I find it, at least from what I've heard, I would find it hard for AI to match the quality that narrator has. So,
well, I think it's apples and oranges. Honestly, I don't think it would be anywhere near the same. But.
Yeah.
Have you seen those posts on Facebook lately, like AI, like art?
Yeah.
AI to do my book cover.
Yes.
I actually asked my son, he's playing a lot in AI stuff, and I asked him if he would do a book cover with a bare-chested six-pack guy, and like it was ridiculously bad. It was so bad. Like one of them had, I can't even, like it was an entire washboard, right? Like it was, anyway.
Like you don't have to, but are you willing to share that with Romance Happy Hour?
The image?
Yeah,
I should find. I will ask Liam to send it to me. I will.
Awesome.
I mean, if he can find it, yeah. No, there was some wild messes. Yeah,
I like to shake things up.
a good idea. I will see if I can get them.
Hilarious. Yeah, definitely. We'll put it up and be like, Danika shared this with us.
That's mine. Yeah. What do you think of my new book cover? Rom-com to a new level.
All right. There's one more question from Linda. Star listener Linda tonight. Was there any special research required to write your latest book? I'm assuming this is for Mel because this is when she posted it. When you were reading, and if yes, what were your resources? I thought the same thing when I was listening to you talk about playing the guitar. I'm like, obviously, he must play the guitar. He must.
I thought that too. Like, how much music, like, training have you had?
Yeah, so I don't play the guitar. But no, you're close. So the character Marshall, I actually based a lot of it on my son. So he was a music major and a sound engineer and sound recorder. So he does music production as well. So I picked his brain, and actually the dedication is to him in the book as well. So yeah, that's where a lot of the research was. The other piece of research was the location in terms of Oregon. So it's part of a multi-author series called Summers in Seaside. And so there's 14 authors in the series. So we all talked about the small town, places in it, things like that as well. So that was a lot of the research as well.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to small town Oregon?
I have not. I do have a 5-book series based in Indiana, where I have spent a lot of time in Indiana.
So, and don't hate me for this, and I am not going to behave, Linda, but Dylan and Mel, repeat after me. This is the neighborhood way of saying Oregon.
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 Oregon?
I know. I love it. I love hearing how all different.
Oregon?
Oregon.
Oregon.
I'm a New Yorker.
No, I love it. I love it so much.
Rough crowd tonight.
I know. I'm spicy.
Well, you're always spicy. But that was the last question. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. We have other people watching, but Linda obviously is.
But
I don't know. If we gave out awards, which we don't, sorry, Linda, Linda would get the trophy for tonight for asking questions. But go ahead. I know you have questions, Dawn, because you always have questions. Go ahead.
I don't have questions.
What?
I'm gonna say I don't have questions. I'm gonna say though, she's right on par with my time because we all know that my clock is off. But my clock says 8. 8 o'clock.
What?
So she must be on my time. I don't know.
Why would she be on your time? What are you talking about?
I'm saying my clock. Okay, so it's probably 4 minutes early, right?
Yep.
4 minutes before 8. But my clock says 8 o'clock exactly. So we ended the questions at 8 o'clock exactly.
Oh, okay. That's why I'm not sure where you're going with this. Yeah, we know your computer clock is not right.
Yeah.
I have some other questions. I want to know for both of you, like what are you working on now and what's coming next?
Yes.
I'm working on book 2 of this billionaire series. So Willpower has a identical twin brother named Colt. And so there's some identity changing and stuff going on in there. So he's the next one up. And yeah, that's having fun with the billionaires. I wish I could find people to research though, like, can you take me around for a couple of days in your billionaire world? So far not. Unlike you, Mel, like I wish I had a son who was a billionaire who I could watch.
Yes, so do I.
I love the name Colt though, especially for a billionaire. I think that would be a very sexy billionaire name.
Thank you. I'm playing with like so there's Willpower and then Colt, and then the family they call him Horse, like horsepower. And the accountant is Brian, which is kind of a joke because he's brain power, but of course it's a stupid name. So, and then the last one is Aiden, which is firepower. So anyway, that's
fun.
See, those are the kinds of things that we as authors do to amuse ourselves.
Exactly.
Yes, for sure. Yep. Because maybe, I mean, people will get it now, but they probably would get willpower, but they might not get firepower or brain power out of that. So yeah, I love doing little things like that make myself giggle. Yes.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, I got Willpower. Virginia Beach. I also met my husband there. So I told
very nice.
There's a Virginia Beach, but that is where my husband and I had our first date, and so I was like super excited. And I meant to mention that earlier.
Very fun. I have never been to Virginia Beach.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it's very nice. Cool. So I'm working on I'm making a full-length novel out of a novella that was part of an anthology early in the year. So working through that. It's called Kiss You Back. And it's a 10-year high school reunion romance. So second chance. So.
I love second chance.
Yeah.
I just love it because there's so much history there and you get to play off of that and then like bring things from the past into the present. And it's probably one of my favorite tropes, but then I find myself like gravitating toward that all the time. I tend to really, like want to just lean into that, and I need to force myself to write other things too. So
yeah. I think it's like for me, it's one step below. Like I love historicals because I can like make up things. Like nobody knows if I'm lying.
What are you talking about? Historical people always know if you're lying.
No.
Yes, they do.
History is way crazier than any author can actually come up with. I
understand that, but if you say, like you use a word that people didn't even use back then, that hasn't been invented, people call you out on that.
I'm not talking about words. I'm talking about my people, my characters. Anyway,
write her own history anyway, so it doesn't matter.
But second chance is one step below that because second chance, it's also a history. Like you get the history.
Yes.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I guess you could create everybody's history.
Oh, Dawn.
I've had 2 glasses of wine.
You have 2 glasses of wine when you're on Romance Happy Hour. Next time I will not be there because I will be in Florida. So Dawn, someone is going to make sure that Dawn is on her best behavior, and I think I'm going to put Linda in charge.
Yeah, Linda, you're in charge. You're in charge.
Linda, clear your calendar for the 4th Thursday. We're going to need you. I'm pretty sure we're going to need you. No, I'm teasing. I do have one more question, and I don't mean to. I know Linda's saying no. It's super interesting to me, though, and I don't know because I mean here we are, 3 females, and I'm just wondering for Mel because, I mean, usually it's women who are working in a predominantly male world for jobs and stuff. So how does it feel as a male romance author? I mean, do you feel the camaraderie, or is it?
Yeah.
What's the experience like?
It's been an amazing experience from day one. The
Good.
support and love in the community is overwhelming. I tell everybody it's an amazing community. So supportive. Like I said, from day one, everyone's been so open and approachable, and I love it. I love it.
Good.
Yeah,
that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, it just fascinates me because there are actually several male romance authors who don't like they don't go public about like that they're writing romance, and so it's.
Well, I'll tell you a quick funny story. So when I first started this journey, I wasn't big on social media, so I didn't have my photo up. I actually had an icon of Mr. Met as that was my avatar. And so I'm posting in all these groups, and everybody assumes based on my name I was female.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, whoa. So I quickly had to update everywhere and put my photo in, because I didn't want anybody to think I was there, trolling or anything like that.
Right.
So I had to quickly call out in a couple of threads where, people had very detailed conversations about the female perspective. I was like, hey, there's a guy here, just so you know.
Funny.
I think it's really interesting. I love it. I love that there are guys that are writing romance. I mean, I just think it's fabulous. So.
Well, and I guess say like 10 years ago, one of my favorite historical romance authors was a male. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I'd have to go look at my books, but I mean, I have a ton of his books. So, I mean, it's not a new thing, but it's definitely rare and awesome. So, yeah.
Well, we're glad to have you. Thanks for being on the show.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. It's been a blast. And just so you know, I am doing a giveaway. So a signed autographed paperback if you're in the US. I do an ebook if you're international. And I'll let you guys determine the winner. Just let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've got you choose because I'm in Canada and postage is ridiculous. And it also takes forever and is not reliable. An ebook of any of my backlist or the billionaire. You just have to wait until I publish it.
Yeah. Winner's choice. Awesome. We love that.
And that giveaway is up on the Romance Happy Hour Facebook page, and we will keep that open through the weekend. So if you haven't had a chance to pop over there and enter, please do that so that you get a chance at winning one of those.
Yeah.
So.
And with that, I think we should say good night. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Great to meet you, Mel. Dawn, Dylan, see you again. Yes.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thanks for being here. We really appreciate it. And I'm assuming you both have websites. So if anybody wants to look up your books and stuff, they can find you. And you want to give us your URL real quick?
That's it. DanikaBloom.com.
All right. AuthorMelWalker.com.
All right.
Okay.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you guys.
See you.
All right. We'll see you next time, or Dawn will see you next time. I'll be in Florida on the beach with my toes in the sand.
Can you at least post a picture of your toes in the sand?
Yes.
So we can look vicariously through you.
And bring a guitar.
Yeah, well, no. I know they're having a karaoke night, and people will probably pay me not to sing. So
How about Lindy? Bring Lindy.
I might.
Okay.
I'll take my beaver to the beach. Thanks, Dawn.
Oh, good.
All right.
Have a great weekend.
With that, I'm pushing the end button. Bye.